During the initial stages of the conflict, U.S. outposts in the Philippines, Guam, and American Samoa would just be abandoned to the British and Anzac forces. There's nothing America could do. They knew that that was
That's
done.
and it's kind of like how France was in the gunpowder age conflicts with Britain. The
Yeah,
idea is to win in the continents of Europe, colonies have to defend themselves,
yeah, yeah,
and
exactly.
we'll barter the gains.
Exactly. And like, let's be honest, if this war broke out, the Philippines would suddenly be like, Japanese citizens are under threat. Something's happening. Japan needs to just occupy the Philippines. Like it would have been a free for all in the Asia Pacific. Everyone would be taking chunks out of everybody. Um,
So we're
yeah,
just talking about a Royal Rumble, but in the Pacific with
yeah.
actual guns and weapons.
Oh yeah. After conducting extensive war games at the Naval War College, the planners of War Plan Red opted not to attack British shipping or engage in a decisive naval battle initially. Instead, the US Navy aimed to concentrate all of its efforts in the western North Atlantic to try and obstruct British Canadian ship movements. Following the conquest of Canada, if the opportunity presented itself, the US Navy could try to engage the Royal Navy, aiming for a decisive victory that could disrupt British supply lines and facilitate invasions of British colonies in the Western Hemisphere. Any territory obtained from Britain or Canada would be annexed immediately and integrated into US states or territories. Yeah, so that's something that people need to know. The invasion of Canada plan, absolutely, they were going to conquer Canada and take it all. What's funny is if you read the manual, they actually acknowledge what happens if they lose. So amongst all the things that Britain will like do to the United States, like take all their colonies away, uh, cancel the debt from World War One, huge, and probably cause reparation payments. They acknowledge that Canada would just take Alaska for itself because, I mean, look at a map. It kind of makes sense if Alaska was taken. So, yeah. So it's, that would have been a funny scenario. But yeah. So the military forces involved in this, and this is all estimations by G2 intelligence in the 1920s, early 1930s. So G2 intelligence and their divisions carried out thorough reconnaissance of Canada, analyzing its geography, resources, and military capabilities. Notably, and I really got to say this because I found this to be incredible, the famous and esteemed American pilot Charles Lindbergh undertook covert reconnaissance flights over Canadian airspace for this, reaching as far as the Hudson Bay to identify strategic targets. And he was one of the first people to say that they should use poison gas against Canadians in the event of a war. Charles Lindbergh, son of a
The
bitch.
biggest isolationist of
Yeah.
them all.
Yeah. So yeah, you got to look into the history of this guy because
I
he
think I'll just
definitely
say
did.
one thing though. Did they not realize that the Canadians are immune to poison gas?
I mean, we were the ones that kind of came up with the anti-gas measures first when we were being gassed to shit in World War One. I think
Yeah,
was
you
it was
just
it
jump.
sorry,
I
was
think
it
it
the
was in
Canadians who
the.
figured out how to piss on a rag? I can't remember if it was the Canadians or the British.
I do know that the Canadians, whenever the Germans ended up like gassing the Allied lines,
Yeah.
and you have the withdrawal, they still find the Canadian battalions manning their line.
Yeah, well, that's why we got the nickname that we received in World War One from I guess it was the Germans had given it to us was the Crazy Canucks. Yeah. So one of the things that you'll find in the manual is how the United States divided Canada, and it was based off of political subdivisions. So at the time, there was the Maritime provinces, Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick. There was Quebec, Ontario, the Prairie provinces in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta.
So, Craig, that's home for you.
Yeah, Quebec, British Columbia, and at this time, Newfoundland was a part of Canada, but they acknowledged it was a significant, it would definitely be involved in the war. So Newfoundland is kind of another British acquisition there, and it would be considered Red Crimson, I guess.
Can I just say
Uh,
one thing?
yeah.
If they invaded and they defeated them and destroyed Montreal Canadiens, I'd be happy.
I mean, it wouldn't change the outcomes for the Canadians. I mean, now, of course, they're gonna win the cups in the 20s and stuff, but it's been a long time. It's just depressing.
Look, I support the Leafs. I know that even
That's
worse.
pathetic. Yeah, you can't make fun of the Habs if you support the Leafs. The Leafs are much more
Well, I'm super
depressing.
sorry. I'm used to depressing. Even my football club used to be like waiting for titles, so I'm used to this.
Actually, my friend had messaged me. I don't know if I can find the text. The betting right now is like if you put $5 on the Canadians winning the playoffs, it's like 1,000% increase in your bet or something. It's like ridiculous. But yeah,
Well, conversely, I remember some guy he bet for $1.4 million on an NFL game with the team that he bet on was leading 28-0. I think it was the Chargers against Jacksonville in the playoffs.
mm,
And this was during the second quarter, and Jacksonville just rallied to beat, and he just lost one point.
nice.
And
Jeez.
guess what would have been his profit
What?
if it had come? 10K.
Ouch.
Yep.
Don't do sports betting, folks. I used to work in bars and kitchens. Oh my God, the people I used to work with, like degenerate sports gamblers, lost so much money. One guy was one guy was a Dallas Cowboys fan, and he used to bet on them.
You
Oh.
say enough.
He would bet on the team. I mean, Cowboys. Come on, and he would just get crushed every week. It was so sad. But yeah.
I'll admit one of my favorite things in the NFL postseason or end of regular season is the Dallas Cowboy fan reactions.
Yeah. Okay, I desist.